against a very dangerous Bernabe Concepcion. And Lopez is among the fastest risers in the sport, and he's just beginning to secure his place among history's greatest Puerto Rican fighters. All right, let's take a look at the results of tonight's text poll question. We asked you if the outcome of tonight's main event would be a knockout or a decision.
And given the fact that both these fighters have high knockout ratios, especially Lopez, not a shock that most of you believe this fight will end in a knockout. Both are big punchers and they're both aggressive.
And we're ready for our main event. Undefeated WBO Featherweight champion Juan Manuel Lopez continues his quest to secure his place among Puerto Rican greats like Benitez, Rosario, and Trinidad as he defends his title against the upset-minded Bernabe Concepcion. Gus Johnson along with Al Bernstein. And Al, can Lopez be considered one of the great fighters in Puerto Rican history already?
Well, very close, maybe not quite yet in terms of some of the icons you mentioned. And of course, the guys you mentioned had tremendous careers. And then when you throw current Puerto Rican champion Miguel into the mix, maybe Lopez isn't quite there yet. But he's got a great start to become one of those icons. 28-0, 7-0 in world championship matches. And of course, he has 2 titles already to his credit. What he doesn't have is a career-defining win or a career-defining rivalry. He may yet get that. The man he's facing here tonight, Bernabe Concepcion, brings a lot to this fight. He is a very talented 22-year-old who is himself a veteran already with 28 wins. But for him to win this match, Concepcion must fight at his highest level, and he's got to do it right from the start. A good beginning for Concepcion would be commitment to body work. His double left hook is a great weapon against lefties, and it should be thrown often this evening. Rogers Matagua hit Lopez often with straight right hands. Concepcion is quick and powerful. Mario Santiago had the same split in his defense that Lopez often has. And Concepcion was able to sneak through a right hand and create a knockdown. For him to win tonight, this right hand must get in. When Lopez gets into a brawl, he is much more vulnerable. He has to resist that urge. His jab, though sometimes underused, is excellent. It should be used tonight to establish distance. The Lopez right hook is a huge weapon, and he said he knows he can land it. This is the punch that did in Stephen Luevano. Lopez doubled with it, first to the body and then to the head, and it won him the featherweight crown. Tonight, he hopes it'll help him retain that crown.
The challenger, Bernabe Concepcion. And quite frankly, nobody is giving Concepcion much of a chance to win tonight. He knows, though, that this could be a career-defining moment. His chance to take a quantum leap, winning his first world title, and at the same time serving as a major fly in the Lopez ointment.
Bernabe Concepcion comes in very loose in hostile territory where he's just happy to be here. You know, he's getting his second world title shot within a year, which is pretty remarkable given the fact that he did not prevail over Stephen Luevano, though they feel that he might well have won that fight if it had continued. He was starting to make some inroads, although they also were disappointed with his performance in that fight. But now he's getting thrown in after one very good win over Santiago against a top fighter in the world.
So Concepcion very loose as he enters the ring, fighting in hostile territory in the champion's home city. But he does have that Manny Pacquiao style. He's awkward, and he'll throw punches from a number of different angles. He's a right-hander. The champion, Juan Manuel Lopez. Many feel that he has a chance to become one of the great Puerto Rican fighters of all time. Some feel that he's there already. He's got a big fight scheduled later on this year with Rafael Marquez. They've already signed the paperwork, but Lopez enters the ring focused on one thing only, and that's defeating Bernabe Concepcion, a man he has tremendous respect for. He refuses to allow thoughts of future big money fights enter his mind until after this one is over.
He said to us, I can only fight one person at a time. And he said, I will be as focused as I can possibly be for this fight. And he said, I respect Concepcion. I know that he is a very difficult stylistic fighter to fight. And I know that he's an intelligent fighter. And right now, he's drinking in the moment here in front of his home fans.
And he's wearing pink tonight because he's dedicating this fight to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. All the clothes that he's wearing in the ring, the pink and white, will be auctioned. The gloves as well, to raise money for the foundation. He will also donate money from his purse to the foundation. Now, no one in his family has the disease, but he believes that they need the support.
As somebody whose wife is a cancer survivor, I salute that man for what he's doing.
So Lopez respects many of the great Puerto Rican fighters of all time, but here's his idol, the great Felix Trinidad, who's not only his idol but also his buddy.
He has been a great mentor to him, and on this island, who is bigger than Felix Trinidad? Not too many athletes.
Juan Manuel Lopez ready to defend his title, and that brings us to the numbers and the tail of the tape.
In this fight, while there is a height and reach advantage for Lopez, it may not be as significant as it was in the last fight. Now, you see that Concepcion is 22 years old. Yes, it's a 5-year difference, but he's already a veteran. So he's had over 28 fights himself as a professional. And we see no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. The referee or doctor can stop the fight. You can't be saved by the bell except in the last round. And should there be a stoppage because of a foul, clash of heads, something of that nature, before the end of round 4, it would be no decision. After that, they would go to the scorecards.
Here in San Juan, Puerto Rico, we're ready for our main event, scheduled for 12 rounds. Juan Manuel Lopez, the champion, versus Bernabe Concepcion, the challenger for the WBO world title. So let's go inside the ring for the official introductions from the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, welcome to San Juan, Puerto Rico for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Top Rank Incorporated, NPR Best Boxing, in association with Corona, CPuertoRico.com, and Showtime. Ahora presentando un campeonato mundial. This world championship attraction is sanctioned by the WBO President Francisco Valcarcel, Supervisor Jorge Molina, along with the Puerto Rican Boxing Commission, the President Domis Delgado. Ahora presentando a los jueces, our judges scoring at ringside. From Illinois in the United States, William Lurch. From Rhode Island in the United States, Clark Sammartino. And from Puerto Rico, Nelson Vasquez. And our referee in charge, el referee es Luis Pabon. Bien amigos, esta es la pelea estelar de la noche, 12 asaltos por el campeonato mundial de la OMB peso pluma. All right fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the islands of Puerto Rico, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing pink trunks with silver trim, he weighed in at 125 pounds. Presentando al retador en la esquina azul, con un peso de 125 libras. From Viga Cataduanes in the Philippines, his record stands at 30 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Clasificado número 5 de la OMB, tiene un récord de 30 victorias, 2 derrotas y un empate, con 17 ganadas por knockout. Tonight, he is making his second attempt at a world title. Here is the WBO number 5 ranked featherweight contender. Please welcome the challenger. Aquí está el retador, Bernabe, the real deal Concepcion. And his opponent across the ring, the defending champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with pink trim. He weighed in at 125 1/4 pounds. Y su rival, el campeón en la esquina roja, pesando 125 libras y un cuarto. This two-time world champion is undefeated in his campaign with a record of 28 wins, no losses, 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Su récord, 28 victorias sin derrota, con 25 ganadas por knockout. De Caguas, Puerto Rico, aquí está el invicto campeón mundial de la OMB peso pluma. Here is the undefeated WBO Featherweight Champion of the World. Demos la bienvenida a Juan Manuel Lopez. Once again, our referee in charge. Aquí está el referee Luis Pabon.
Todo el mundo fuera, uno con él, todo el mundo fuera, vamos. Vamos, que estamos para televisión, vamos. Okay. Give me a hand. Okay, guys, I give you instruction in the dressing room. Le hagan a clean match. Good luck and God bless you. Le di las instrucciones en el camerino. Vamos a la pelea limpia. Que tengan suerte y que Dios los bendiga.
As you take a look at Bernabe Lopez sitting with the champ, Felix Trinidad, they're scheduled to have an official wedding ceremony in the church next Saturday. They're already married, but they're going to blow it out next Saturday after this fight.
Waiting for TV, okay?
And the challenger, Bernabe Concepcion, knows that this is his opportunity. He's loose.
Wow, is he ever loose? It's amazing. I mean, he's been smiling the whole time he's coming in here, so we'll see how that translates for this fight. And you're looking at those two fighters. My only question is, where's Molly Ringwald? You know?
With all that pretty in pink, you're absolutely right. Although I think we're going to have to tell you who's who by their shoes, as opposed to their trunks.
Luckily, one guy's a lefty, huh?
That's right.
That helps us out. Now, Concepcion, they want him to be aggressive in this fight. And can he be? Can he walk into the guns, the power of Juan Manuel Lopez, and be as aggressive as he wants to be? We're going to find out.
Concepcion just got hit with a short right hook, and that backed him up. And the problem with Concepcion, they say sometimes he will take rounds off. And he wants to be as busy as possible in this fight. And he staggered and goes back to the ropes that quick. quickly. Lopez, very tight punches.
A huge straight left hand. And Lopez has a great right hook, but don't underestimate that straight left. That's the problem with attacking against Lopez.
Another left hand by Lopez. And Concepcion is down. And he's hurt. Concepcion
Are you right?
in major trouble with 128 to go. Here comes the champ. He's ready to make it short work. Another left hand. Lopez finding the ring in the first round. Another left hand. Lopez has Concepcion in trouble. A minute and 5 to go. Lopez taking his time, measuring. Uppercut. Straight left. He doubled it up, tripled it up. And Concepcion just turns and backs up. Can he survive this round?
And you know, a moment ago, Concepcion did land a good right hand of his own. That's what he's going to have to do. Land something that keeps Lopez off him.
Another left hand backs up Concepcion. Here comes the champ. Punches and bunches. 25 seconds to go. Concepcion trying to roll, trying to slip. He hit him with a left hook and dropped him. Whoa! Out of nowhere, Concepcion sends the champion to the canvas. And that quiets this crowd. What a start here in PR. And that's the end of the first round.
All right, you went back on that one. Okay, let's take out the ice now. Okay, we're right here. Okay, go back. Okay, relax. All right. Nothing happened. Don't be too confident, okay? That's what happened. Just be relaxed.
Well, quite a first round of action. It started out with Lopez landing a very big left hand that might have been called a knockdown, though it wasn't because the ropes kept him up. But then Lopez would, in fact, send Concepcion against the rope and blast away. But of all the things, as Lopez attacks, a left hook by Concepcion. He's not a left hook artist to the head, and knocks Lopez down.
Lopez pulling straight back, and he paid for it. The second round begins.
There's a precedent.
Oh, a straight left hand. Oh, sends him down again.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you ready?
The start of the second round. The champion, Lopez, and Concepcion, the challenger, falling down. And that is a slip.
Everything's been unlikely in this fight. It was the left hook of Concepcion that did good work, and it's been the straight left almost exclusively of Lopez, when Lopez himself said it's the right hook that will knock him out. It's been exciting.
Lopez told us that he knew Concepcion would come in. He was going to let him go past him and then hit him with the hook.
I'm here all the time, okay?
But as you mentioned, it's been the left hand that's been very effective. Concepcion knocking down the champion with a left hook at the end of the first round.
Now, you know, there's a precedent for shootouts with Juan Manuel Lopez. Against Rogers Matagua, he had Matagua in all kinds of trouble early in the fight. Matagua hung in there and ultimately had Lopez literally out on his feet in the 12th round. I'm not suggesting this is going to be that kind of fight, but it's starting out in a way that way. Lopez is a very exciting champion and sometimes a vulnerable one, as we've seen, and that's what makes him even more interesting. Concepcion had never been on the canvas.
Now Lopez getting back to his jab. Lopez, the southpaw. Concepcion, the orthodox fighter. Oh, tough exchange there. Concepcion goes back. Concepcion in trouble, and he goes down again. And this is over. Juan Manuel Lopez defends his title in spectacular fashion as he stops this fight and now prepares himself to take on a legend. Wow, Al.
Well, this was something, wasn't it? First of all, the power of Lopez, more than Concepcion could deal with. And let's give Bernabe Concepcion credit for toughness, but with this big crowd in San Juan, giving Juan Manuel Lopez all the love he can handle. Power is his game. If he can beat you with power, he will beat you. He is vulnerable to punches, as we saw when Concepcion hit him, but his power is magnificent.
So let's take a look at the first knockdown of the round.
Lopez would use the straight left hand, which he used very effectively early in this fight. Though we suspected it might be the right hook that would be the big power punch, it was the left hand. And then he would get him in trouble with the right hook. That was the first punch that really did the job. And then he kept after Concepcion, and that power in the hook is dramatic. And I believe this stoppage is appropriate because Bernabe Concepcion was in all kinds of trouble.
Yes, really couldn't get to his feet, Al.
Another look at how the final knockdown and the stoppage of the fight took place. Concepcion in a lot of trouble here, floundering around, and you can see that he is just not able to really continue in this fight. Still undefeated, still champion, and headed toward a major fight. Now, the punch stats in this match demonstrate the dominance of Lopez, landing over 50% of his power punches. Ironically, only one jab, but Concepcion landed none. And of those 28 punches landed and the 27 power punches, they were all very big ones.
Very interesting. Lopez knocks down Concepcion 3 times, the third being the final time, but he was knocked down with the left hook at the end of the first round and had to get up and continue fighting.
And you know, it was fortuitous for him that it was at the end of the round. Right after it, Concepcion landed another right hand. He was still stunned, but he had a whole minute to get himself together. So that was a good break for Lopez.
Let's go inside the ropes, folks. Tonight we've had a number of knockdowns. Exciting night of fighting.
We had our share in this fight, but the fight landed short, lasted very little. There's the first knockdown we saw, and mostly the left hand is the big weapon for Juan Manuel Lopez. Now, as he came in here, he would get it with a terrific left hook by Concepcion. But in round 2, Lopez came out firing that left hand again, and then would go to his patented weapon, the right hook here, and that was the punch that really hurt Bernabe Concepcion and gave Lopez the victory, and then he added the left in there for good measure.
Juan Manuel Lopez improves his record to 29-0, 26 KOs now as he prepares for what could be the fight of his life against a Mexican legend. Let's go inside the ring where our Jimmy Lennon Jr. is standing by.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 2 minutes 37 seconds in round number 2. Con el tiempo de 2 minutos 37 segundos en round número 2. He is the winner by way of technical knockout. El ganador por knockout técnico. He is still undefeated and still the WBO Featherweight Champion of the world, Juan Manuel Lopez.
27-year-old Juan Manuel Lopez remains undefeated. He's now 8-0 in World Championship fights with 7 KOs. And let's take a look at some of the world's great undefeated fighters.
Well, this should give you an idea where Lopez fits into these fighters. These are all the fighters that don't even have a draw on their record. There's some other ones that are undefeated with draws. Floyd Mayweather obviously at the top both in terms of number of wins, and he's the big money maker in boxing. Lopez now tying Chad Dawson in the number 2 spot. And of course, as you look down, some wonderful young champions, including Andre Ward, who has made such a splash in our Super 6 World Boxing Tournament. All great fighters there who are undefeated.
Right now, our Jim Gray is standing by with the world champion.
All right, Gus, thank you very much. Juan Manuel, congratulations, muy bueno. Felix de Jesus will interpret for us. It looked as though you were going to win in the first round, that he was really on the ropes and getting ready to get knocked out, and then you got knocked down. What happened?
Parece que le estaba ganando fácil en el primer round, pero después vino el knockdown de parte de él. ¿Qué pasó? Bueno, a veces hay cosas que suceden en el deporte, uno se descuida o con un golpe de sorpresa. Un gran peleador pega fuerte, pues me dio el golpe, pero gracias a Dios estamos bien aquí, estamos era la idea. Sometimes you get a little overconfident, he had the fight under control, and then he's a great fighter, he's a strong fighter, straight, good punch.
And then in the second round, it was all over. Was there any concern after he got knocked down that he would have to be more careful going forward?
Después que tú lo noqueaste en el segundo round, ¿tú pensabas que tenía que ser todavía muy cuidadoso con él? Sí, sí, él es un peleador muy fuerte, un peleador que pega muy duro. Bernabe es un gran peleador y los otros pues tenemos que ir poco a poco con calma, sin descuidarnos para poder dar los golpes que dimos y poder ganar de la manera que ganamos. Yeah, he has to learn to never be overconfident, although he knocked him down in the second round and he felt strong about it.
Big fight now coming up September 18th against Rafael Marquez. We'll have it here on Showtime at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. What does he think about being undefeated and going up against a great fighter in Marquez?
Él es invicto y va a pelear frente a Rafael Márquez. ¿Qué piensa de pelear en Las Vegas el 18 de septiembre? No, Rafael Márquez es un gran peleador. Esperamos que se pueda llegar todo el acuerdo necesario y que se logre esta gran pelea. Es un placer pelear contra un peleador como Rafael Márquez. He's glad that all the contracts have been worked out, that it's going to be on Showtime, and that Rafael Márquez is a great fighter. He's looking forward to the fight.
Congratulations. It was fun to be here in Puerto Rico.
Muchas gracias. Puerto Rico. Muchas gracias a todos. Gracias por el apoyo y verla bien feliz de haber ganado. He's very happy to have won.
All right, thank you. All right, Gus, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. Al, that was fun.
Boy, was it. I'll tell you, it was very exciting here in this building, obviously. And the interesting thing to me is that Juan Manuel Lopez lights up a ring in many different ways. He's got a personality that's bigger than the all-outdoors. He is a very exciting offensive fighter. And here's the other thing, Gus. He's a vulnerable fighter,
yes,
which makes him even more interesting and more exciting. So, you know, he is, I think, an intriguing part of the puzzle in boxing right now.
And sometimes a vulnerable fighter is a fighter that takes chances, and that's what we have seen from Lopez. So now, here's an opportunity to take on a Mexican future Hall of Famer in Rafael Marquez, and we've seen how he's fought Vasquez 4 times. That could be just something to really watch.
It really could. Here's the thing about that fight. It's all really going to be determined on whether Marquez, who's stepping up in weight a little bit, can in any way deal with the power of Lopez. If he can to some degree, I'll tell you what, we know Marquez is going to land punches because you do against Lopez, and Marquez is a brilliant technician. So if in fact he can hang in there with the power in Lopez, we could be heading to a classic.
All right, and hopefully it will be a classic. And for more information on all the upcoming Showtime sports events, we invite you to visit our website at sports.show.com.